Right now, hundreds of thousands of UK taxpayers are about to face a significant change that could affect how much money ends up in their pockets each month, and if you're receiving any form of income beyond your main salary, you need to hear this immediately. The government has just confirmed a major HMRC rule change taking effect from the 9th of November 2025, and whether you're still working, recently retired, or enjoying your pension years, this update could directly impact your financial situation in ways you might not expect. Before we dive into the details of exactly what's changing and how it affects you, please take a quick moment to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. We're dedicated to bringing you the latest updates on pensions, benefits, and tax changes that matter to UK seniors, and by subscribing, you'll never miss crucial information that could save you money or help you avoid unexpected tax bills. So what exactly is changing from the 9th of November? The HMRC has confirmed a major update to how they handle tax codes and pay calculations for people with multiple sources of income. This is particularly relevant if you're receiving a state pension alongside a workplace pension, if you're working part-time while drawing pension income, or if you have any rental income or investment dividends. The new rules are designed to make the tax system more responsive and accurate, but they also mean that millions of people could see changes to their monthly take-home amounts, and understanding these changes now is absolutely essential to avoid any nasty surprises. For decades, the UK tax system has operated on a relatively straightforward basis where your tax code would be set at the beginning of the tax year and would typically remain unchanged unless you specifically contacted HMRC about a change in circumstances. However, under the new system being implemented from November, HMRC will have the ability to adjust your tax code much more frequently throughout the year based on real-time information they receive from various sources. This means if you start receiving a new pension, begin drawing down from your pension pot, or have any change in your employment status, HMRC can now update your tax code within days rather than months. The government says this change is intended to reduce the number of people who end up paying too much or too little tax during the year, which then requires sorting out through self-assessment or waiting for a refund. On the surface, this sounds like a positive development because nobody wants to be out of pocket or facing an unexpected tax bill. However, the reality is slightly more complicated, especially for those in retirement or approaching retirement age who may have multiple income streams. Let's talk about how this specifically affects you if you're a UK senior. If you're currently receiving your state pension and you also have a private or workplace pension, you'll know that the state pension is paid without any tax being deducted at source. Instead, your tax-free personal allowance is usually applied against your private pension, and any additional tax you owe on your state pension is collected through a reduction in the tax-free amount on your other pension. Under the new system, HMRC will be monitoring these combined incomes much more closely and will adjust your tax codes more dynamically. This becomes particularly important if you've recently started claiming your state pension or if you're planning to do so in the coming months. Previously, there might have been a delay of several months before your tax code was adjusted to account for your state pension income, which could mean you were underpaying tax during that period and would face a catch-up bill later. Now, HMRC aims to make these adjustments within weeks of you starting to receive your state pension, which means your private pension payments might reduce more quickly than you were expecting as more tax is deducted. For those of you who are still working part-time alongside receiving pension income, the implications are equally significant. Many seniors choose to continue working in some capacity after claiming their pensions, whether that's because they enjoy their work, need the additional income, or simply want to stay active and engaged. If this describes your situation, you need to be aware that your employer will now be sending information to HMRC more frequently, and your tax code could change multiple times throughout the year. This might result in variations in your monthly take-home pay that you weren't experiencing before. Another crucial aspect of this rule change affects those who are making pension withdrawals under the flexible access rules introduced in 2015. If you're taking ad hoc withdrawals from your pension pot rather than receiving a regular pension income, each withdrawal triggers what's known as an emergency tax code, which often results in you paying too much tax initially. While you could always reclaim this overpaid tax, it was often a lengthy process involving paperwork and waiting periods. The new system promises to make these emergency tax code corrections happen more quickly, which should mean faster refunds for overpaid tax on pension withdrawals. However, there's an important cautionary note here. While HMRC claims the new system will be more accurate and responsive, it's also more complex, and complexity often leads to errors, at least in the initial implementation phase. We've already seen reports from tax professionals and accountants warning that the transition period could be bumpy, with some taxpayers potentially receiving incorrect tax codes or experiencing unexpected changes to their income. This is why it's absolutely vital that you keep a close eye on any communications you receive from HMRC, particularly any notifications about tax code changes. What should you be doing right now to prepare for these changes? First and foremost, make sure HMRC has your current contact details, including your email address if you're comfortable receiving communications electronically. Many of these tax code change notifications will be sent out digitally, and if HMRC doesn't have the right address for you, you might miss important information. You can check and update your contact details through your personal tax account on the HMRC website, or by calling their helpline if you prefer. Secondly, take the time now to gather information about all your income sources and have this readily available. You should know exactly how much state pension you're receiving or will receive, the amount of any private or workplace pensions, any employment income if you're still working, and details of any other taxable income such as rental income or investment income. Having this information organized will make it much easier to spot if HMRC makes an error in calculating your tax code. Thirdly, consider checking your tax code as soon as possible after the 9th of November to see if any changes have been applied. Your tax code appears on your payslip if you're employed, on your pension statement if you're receiving a pension, and you can also check it online through your personal tax account. If you see a change that you don't understand or that doesn't seem to reflect your actual circumstances, don't ignore it. Contact HMRC immediately to query the change, because the sooner errors are identified and corrected, the less disruption there will be to your income. It's also worth being aware that these changes are happening at the same time as other significant updates to the UK tax and benefits system. The state pension has recently increased, tax thresholds have been frozen for several years, and various benefits and allowances are being adjusted. All of these factors can interact with each other in complex ways, and what might seem like a simple rule change can actually have quite substantial effects on your overall financial position. If you're at all uncertain about how these changes might affect you personally, it's worth considering speaking to a financial advisor or tax specialist who can review your individual circumstances and provide tailored guidance. The key message here is to stay informed and stay vigilant. This HMRC rule change from the 9th of November 2025 is being presented as a modernization and improvement to the tax system, and in many ways it probably will make things more efficient in the long run. However, any major change to a system as complex as the UK tax system inevitably comes with teething troubles, and those troubles could potentially cost you money if you're not paying attention. By understanding what's changing, monitoring your tax codes carefully, and acting quickly if something doesn't look right, you can protect yourself from unnecessary financial disruption and ensure you're paying the right amount of tax, neither too much nor too little. Stay safe, stay informed, and we'll keep you updated on any further developments as this new system rolls out.